Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Interesting. Check, check, check. Not sure what was going on there. The Streamlabs is buggy. It disconnected from Kick, so there's some, I changed some settings or whatever, but so we sat in that long. I ended up closing it out like here. Could have just ran it. 288 on the day. So we're back to more or less our all-time high. A little bit off the all-time high. Yeah, and you can see there wasn't a really great entry. And you're still, honestly, it's not good to be doing anything right now. Like, that was the move, right? That was the move for the day. You could have scalped this after the failure to re-enter that level and then gone for a new high. I didn't take it though. I was looking for a better level. Could have gone here. Right. You lost on gold today. I mean, gold's chopping up, right? Whoa. 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 Let's look at some other charts to see. Should we trade gold? Because there's nothing to do on the NASDAQ right now. Ideally, you just want to buy everything. Look for levels to buy everything, right? Two hour just closed. There's no reason to buy gold right now either. It's not a good level. Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin, you could be a bear right now, honestly. I'm not sure how I would take it. I'm OG, y'all new to the game. Level there. Yeah, I'd be waiting on Bitcoin. You've got more or less a range, right? Somewhere there. And then this lower range here, that's more or less the Bitcoin range. Gold. I mean, the only thing that makes any sense for gold is this, right? But you've already bounced off of it, so let's see. Yeah, it's the only thing that makes much sense for gold, right? Bling bling.
Bling 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 bling. You see all that money? Bling bling.
Such a beautiful home. Thanks, man. It's an alright home. I'm happy with it. Shorting gold. Yeah, you shouldn't be shorting something that's in a massive uptrend like that. Generally, Here's the thing. If you want to be a better trader, there's a very simple thing you can do to make your trading so much better, okay? Don't short. Don't short ever. Only long, right? And then what that does is it stops you from having to decide what direction it's going. Okay, so you only ever look for good long entries, which simplifies it by double percent. You know what I mean? Like 50%. It's like 50% easier. You know what I mean? Because you're only looking in one direction. Okay, and then what you do is you determine, is it a good time to be buying? Okay, so with gold, you'd look probably the daily and the weekly and be like, yeah, that's a really good, like, I obviously want to be buying because it's shooting up. Okay. A case where you wouldn't be buying would have been, I mean, you'd probably still buy all here. You know, you'd probably still buy all here. You know, you might not wanting to be a bull. Like, you could have still been a buyer all in this, right? You know what I mean? Like, you could just only ever buy. The times where you might not want to buy is when the weekly, so I'd probably not be a buyer in this point because the weekly is so bearish. You know, maybe I wouldn't be a buyer here either, right? But it did end up turning, right? So you could just not buy, right? You could just hold off for a week, right? Definitely in this area, when when the weekly is trending down, you just stop trading, right? So this you wouldn't trade for a few months. So if you want to be the best trader, easier, just literally only look for buys, right? That's what I've been basically doing on this challenge, right? Look for buys. We bought down here, right? And then we ended up selling. I sold one when I went to bed. I sold one on market close, right? Which was somewhere, can't remember where. I think I sold it here. And then one when I went to bed. And then the third one I sold this morning on a pump up, right? So the average exit was only like this, right? But whatever. So here, okay, we're a buyer. Should you be buying here? No, definitely not. All-time high makes no sense. Until you get solid closes that tell you that this might be a low, where there's no point in being a buyer. Right? And even with Bitcoin too, you know, more or less just only be a buyer, right? So we drew out some zones. This one. Drew out some zones and probably would have bought that, right? If you were smart about it. What is that? Weekly level. Being a bull is the easiest. Being a bear makes it very difficult. Just never short. And generally it's like, okay, if you want to be a bull always, well, if it's telling you not to be buying in the NASDAQ or something, switch to gold maybe, right? You could do the same thing, right? But right now, like, it's 50-50 what happens, right? It could keep pushing or it could come down. There's too much drawdown risk here. It's silly. Like, no, this doesn't make any sense to be buying to me right now. Like, nothing is strong. But we're already in this long and we're letting that one run. Hey, thanks, Dale.
Hunter, my points hasn't been increased since day after yesterday, but I joined Livestream full time.
I don't know, Timo. Is this within DMC? I don't know what you mean. I trade my strategy, yeah, of course. Am I still holding that long? I wish, bro. I was actually, so that's the thing is like, I always fuck up something in the morning, right? Right? Whether it's like I did close for profit, right? But the thing is, I had bought 3 contracts down here, knowing that I wanted to just let one run, right? And just let it run forever sort of thing. But then my dumbass was like, I'll close out the 3rd one. I closed out 2 in here. And then I wanted to just let the other one run forever to see how far it would go, right? But in the morning, I'm like, tired and, there's a lot of shit going on immediately on the open. So I wake up like 15 minutes before this and I usually just look at my phone and I'm like, oh, sweet, it's pumping. So I closed it, right? You know what I mean? Like without really thinking. And then from there, I'm like, okay, the 4 hour, I'm going to just wait for the 4 hour, make sure it's bullish. Okay, it was bullish, right? And then I placed a limit order here, right? To see if it pulled back, right? And it didn't fill it, right? So it does shit like that all the time, right? But it's, I mean, it's fine. We made money today, I suppose. Duolingo's pumping pretty hard for... I want to own more Duolingo, really. Let's look for any stocks that might be good buys now, too. Let's check stocks again. So Palantir, I'm not looking to be an owner of Palantir here. Rocket Lab, not wise either to be buying here. Lunar, top of that range, failing, not interested. Amazon coming down, not interested. Tesla, possible top, not interested. Nvidia could keep rocking. I wanted to buy some down there. Nvidia looks all right. Apple got a nice close. Google, super solid. Hood, absolutely fucking mooning. Put an alert here. Apple. Uber looks interesting. But again, kind of the top. I don't really want to be buying the top. I'm kind of de-risking just because I'm cautious right now. This guy just crashes forever. Don't want that yet. Master coming down. Master could be a good buy soon. Got an alert there, Master. Meta. Meta's coming down. Nice. Meta actually might be a decent buy. I like the sentiment across Meta lately. People are getting back into Zuckerberg. He's more social. Buy a couple Meta. And then just scale in if it comes down. Literally all you need to do for stocks. Is Coinbase pumping up again. Not interested in that. Netflix, I definitely don't want to touch. Not for a while, considering they're probably going to fail on their earnings this year or this quarter. Baba, nice rip. I'd be down to buy Baba if it comes back down a bit. AMD, holy. What a gap, holy. JP Morgan. What's some other tickers we should look at? Anyone got any? JP Morgan, again, probably a solid buy, comes down. Not alert. Yeah, I'd be happy with JP Morgan down there. And yeah, Duolingo killing it, sweet. I want more Duolingo, but we're gonna wait. Apple, we just looked at Apple. How do you trade the gaps? I don't. What about pump stock? Never heard of
Is
pump.
there any long stream for this week?
Micron? What is Micron? We can look at the S&P. It's all the same. Right. Just trickling up. Failed those lows, right? So it should come up. NASDAQ, same thing, right? That's why we took that buy there. Should come up. Holy, just mooning, eh? Absolutely ripping. That's pretty cool. Stocks, to do fundamental analysis a little bit. Like, I'm not going to buy Netflix, right? The thing with stocks is you can be specialized to what the company's doing. So there's a lot of flack on Netflix right now. So I imagine with everyone canceling them, they're going to drop in their quarterly earnings. I don't know when their earnings report is. I'm not going to check that out, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really matter when their earnings report is. I know that people are canceling Netflix and they're mad at them, right? So Netflix, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to make less money, and then whenever earnings come, they're going to fall short, and then it's going to crash, okay? And then from there, after you see the crash on earnings report, you can just buy, right? If it's still a good company, you could buy, right? And then watch the rally back up. You don't need to put much thought into it. Make it very simple. Netflix is hated right now, right? What's going to happen? People aren't going to buy it. Same with Tesla. That's what I did with Tesla, okay? Everyone was mad at Elon, so they're like, fuck Tesla, right? It crashed down, right? And then I bought down here. Okay? Because Tesla is still a good company. It's still doing good shit. The only reason they were mad at him is because of social shit. But guess what? The economy doesn't give a fuck about your feelings, right? So that's the perfect buy, is when people are angry at something that has nothing to do with them purchasing the cars or not. You know what I mean? They're just mad at Elon because they don't like his political views, right? So the market crashed on him, right? And then you just start picking it up, right? That was the crash there. March, April, whatever it was, right? Just pick it up in this range. Easy. Super easy shit. Now it's all-time highs again. I'll probably put a alert here for Tesla, right? Because that'd be a decent buy for Tesla right there.
Hunter, please, did I do anything wrong? Because my points hasn't been increased lately, please check.
I don't know, bro. I don't, like, what would you even, what would I even check? Tell me what I'm supposed to check and then I'll go check it. Any strong long stream this week? No. Yeah, if you guys want to earn some more Maven accounts, we introduced a new thing Maven Shorts is talking about right now. It's called Zeely. It's a point system where you post on your social media, you do certain tasks, and you get points each day. And then again, you can buy challenges with those points. Check the Dixie? Sure, I'll check the Dixie. Why not? The dollar. Nice monthly failure there. Now with currency, you want to use ultra long term, right? Nice buy off there too, right? If you're looking at something like the Dixie, I wouldn't look at anything below the weekly, right? Overall, this looks pretty good. US dollar is doing pretty well, I think, especially if it closes here in the next couple days. The Dixie would probably be a pretty good, pretty bullish. The dollar, the US dollar would be pretty bullish. See the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar is actually pretty bearish, right? This is kind of what we were expecting. We talked about this a couple months ago, how there'd be a rejection off this level. Canadian dollar is absolutely crashing, right? Which is, I like that, honestly, because the worse the Canadian dollar is, the richer I get, because I live in Canada, right? And I get paid US dollars. I get paid Bitcoin, but it's compared to US dollars, right?
Order filled.
Close out one of those, I guess. The New York session has been insane lately on the NASDAQ, eh? Crazy volatile. You've had these massive pumps in either direction every day. It just rips in one way each day. It's not really doing any pullbacks too much, just ripping really hard most days lately. Very volatile. Thanks, Dale. Be like me one day. If you want to be like me, bro, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know exactly what you mean by be like me. I'm going to assume a couple things. there's a couple ways that I could take that, right? Is you want to either be in a position of, not stressing about money, right? Or there's another, I guess, there's another thing that people could aspire to be is kind of like peaceful and like analytical, I suppose. There's another, like the peace. I have a lot of peace, right? People could aspire to be like that. People could aspire to be able to have the analytical skills, like the breakdown. I kind of talk things through, right? And here's the thing. I'll go through each of those one at a time. Okay. So if you want to be in a position where you don't really have to worry about money, the God honest truth is start a business, right? Right. If you're working a job, you're working paycheck to paycheck. That's just the nature of what the world is now. Having a job is not enough to be able to buy a house and afford things anymore, right? It's enough to pay for food and rent, right? Starting a business is the only way to basically start with nothing and make something, right? Trading is a great side hustle and fun and really, really awesome. But I'll be honest with you, like do trading on the side. Trading is not the way that you get rich. You know what I mean? It's not easy, right? You can have a lot of fun and trade, when you already have money, but it's very, very difficult. So what I did is I love trading, so I started a trading business, right? So you can do things like that and then still be able to trade and then funnel a lot of your income into trading, right? Investing, buying prop firms, whatever, right? And then you're still trading with the money, okay? If you're saying you aspire to, kind of have the calmness that I feel like I've got at this point, well, that comes with, I do a lot of meditative sort of work, okay? I go to yoga, I do some Buddhism practices, I do little bits of meditation, right? I go outside a lot and I slow down my life, basically, right? If you slow down your life, you'll be a lot calmer. Huh? And if you're saying you want, kind of the analytical skills of, how I'm able to process through things and situations, right? Because we do break down a lot of things here. I guess that kind of came from like learning programming, but a lot of times how I think is if this then that, right? So I try to make like look at a couple different possibilities and what do those possibilities mean, right? And then ask, okay, so what's the most obvious thing about that, right? And break things down, right? And then when you break it down like step by step, you don't just jump to conclusions because you have data in your mind. You have a process that's trying to kind of proves why things exist, okay? So here's an example. I like an example with trading might be, hey, I keep hitting like really negative days or something, right? That's the pain point, right? So there's some sort of pain point. Okay, so why do I keep hitting those negative days? What's going on? Okay, right? Well, maybe I'm DCAing into a trade, right? Okay, so why am I DCAing into a trade, right? So you break it down, right? Oh, because I don't want to be wrong, sort of thing, right? Like I'm trying to come out of a position or something like that, right? This is something that's actually, this is actually kind of true about me, right? I don't want to be wrong. I like being right, right? Okay, why do I feel like I have to be right, sort of thing, right? And if you just keep going step by step, deeper into why things happen, all the way down to the emotional state, you'll be able to understand things a little bit easier. Look at that. That vape fits in there perfectly. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking right now. I don't think there's any trades. I don't think there's going to be any trades today. Come on live daily. I am on live daily. For the past year and a half, I've been on live daily. You want to be successful and profitable as you own one of the best firms and you also chill. Yeah. There's so exactly, like, ask yourself the question, like, why do you want to be successful? Right? Right? Like part of the reason why I'm chill now is because I have no need for anything else. And that's not like me saying I have a shitload of money. It's I decided that this is enough, right? I don't make much money. Maven does. Maven is fucking huge. The chillness comes from accepting that what I have has kept me alive and has kept me, like, okay, so here's the thing. What are your values? Right? If I can't really answer for you, but I can only give you my perspective, right? My values are good relationships and not having to be stressed all the time, okay? Like, those are two of my major values. I also really value, like, honesty and whatnot, but that comes from, I guess that's not completely separate. But okay, those are some major values of mine, right? So I don't need money in order to be able to create good connections, right? Money actually makes it worse for me to connect with people, right? Because people use you for your money, right? So you're actually buying shitty relationships when you have a lot of money. So it's actually detrimental to my value for me to get really rich. See what I'm saying? So that was part of the reason why I decided that I don't really need more, right? Not being stressed all the time. Well, okay, so I started doing the meditation stuff. I also stopped working so hard, right? So I don't really need the money, right? I started going slower. So you have to be honest with yourself and be like, what are my actual true values? What do I actually care about? Do you actually care about the Lambo? No, I'm pretty much sure you don't, right? Why do you care about getting the Lambo? So that you can flex on fucking people who don't have the Lambo. Like, the actual thing of what the Lambo is it kind of looks nice, right? You could get a painting that looks nice. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's other cars that look nice too that aren't expensive, right? The fun of the Lambo, guess what? You could rent a car once in a while to go have some fun, right? You don't need to spend fucking $5,000 a month on payments for a Lambo. You know what I mean? Just to have fun. Like, if you want to rip around and have fun once a week, I'm sure you could go go-karting. You know what I'm saying? Those things are fucking hella fun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, why do you want to be successful? And this is really going to help you with your trading. Like, why do you need to win today, right? Why do you feel like you need to make money today? Here's the possible answers. 1, I need to eat, right? Well, guess what? We all know for certain at this point that trading is a terrible idea if you need to eat, okay? So if you need to eat and you're trying to trade for that, you're not being honest with yourself. You're lying to yourself, actually, right? So the next option is I want to trade and be right today because I want the emotional dopamine kick from it. And that's perfectly fine. If you want to gamble, then accept that you're gambling, right? Because it's perfectly fine if you want to gamble, right? If you want to feel the emotion of the swings, highs and lows, great, fucking trade. It is the best thing for gambling. Another option is you want to get rich. Why do you want to get rich, right? Ask yourself, right? So that you can get the Lambo, right? What does the money do, right? Allows you to flex on people who don't have the money. Pretty much uncertainty, right? Because you don't need to be rich to support yourself. You just need to have stable income. Being rich, literally all it does is have you get more power. So here's another thing that is a perfect example of an actual reason to get rich that makes sense to me is women like it. Generally, I have that belief. Women like a man with more money generally, right? So that could be a reason too, right? But women also like a lot of other things. So it's just one of the things that could make you more attractive, right? This sort of thought processing can really help you understand yourself and give you a lot of peace, you know? So somebody says to travel around the world, trading as a side hustle. Do you need to trade to travel around the world, or can you start an online business? Right? I don't want to walk you guys away from trading. I love that you guys are trading and watching here. But my number one most important value is being honest with myself and being honest with others. So like I can't tell you anything that I don't fully believe to be true in my mind, right? So I can't tell you to go trade and become super rich from that. I believe that's not the best way to do it, right? The best way to do it is to do it as a side hobby while doing something else that keeps you sane and stable and growing your wealth, right? Trading is too volatile. Live off from a work and then just need myself a little quiet place for us. Yeah, cool. You can totally do that too. Get out of the city and work from the laptop. Yeah. Same sort of thing. Traveling and living out of the city, same thing. You don't need to have get an online job, right? A lot of companies hire online now, right? Majority of all of Maven staff, actually 100% of Maven staff work online. Right? So there's, a lot of businesses that hire online workers. Honored to meet you in person one day. Tell us practically, can you really become a millionaire with from trading alone? It is incredibly difficult. I think with the advent of prop firms, it is more possible, right? But you're not going to come in with $1,000 and then make $1 million. This is not going to happen. You know what I mean? Where's this closing? Yeah, failing on that. Like there's nothing to do here. This is just there's literally nothing to do here today. The move is it's probably just going to trickle up a little bit further for the day. Gold kept going too. Bitcoin's doing nothing. I would not be trading right now. You can let things run, but if you guys managed to catch that trade from yesterday, I mean, you could just keep letting it run. Honestly, probably makes a lot of sense just to close everything out here. But I'll see if it trickles more for the day. We'll sell one up here. And then we'll do this too. What is the Matrix? It's a term that Andrew Tate kind of cultivated, where if you've watched the movie The Matrix, you're stuck in the Matrix, which is like a simulation sort of world, where they curated it so that you could have a weird like a different experience. Like, I don't know what, I can't remember exactly, but it's a fake experience, right? So when you basically just like follow the rules, right? And that's what the world has basically become, is everyone trying to follow the rules and play the game, right? And the irony is, Andrew Tate tells you to escape the Matrix, whilst putting you in a Matrix box, right? Whilst telling you that you need to get rich in order to escape the Matrix, thus creating a whole nother box that you need to fit into to be this locked in fucking online working guru guy, right? So he has literally said, hey, don't follow these rules, follow my rules. That's the better rules, right? How you escape from the Matrix is doing what I told you. Asking yourself, what do you honestly care about? And then that gives you freedom. And as long as you're working towards your honest values, then you've escaped the Matrix. You're doing what you want to live your life for, not for other people, not because this is what you're supposed to. So this is the normies are like, this is what you're supposed to do. Work the 9 to 5, get a wife and kids, happy family, follow all the police rules and all this shit, right? Pay your taxes. This, you know what I mean? Follow all the rules, right? And then the Andrew Tate bubble is like, you need to break out. Fuck those guys. We're better than those guys, right? Once again, just having you become a sheep following everyone else's opinion, right? There's a trend of people thinking that you need to get rich. You don't need to get rich. The original trend is you need to work a 9 to 5. The new one's like you need to get rich, right? It's the same thing. Just put in a different box and repackaged as a fancy version. You're still following somebody else's beliefs. You love trading DMC. Awesome. Thanks, bro. Would have been crazy if you held yesterday's trade. I mean, I held it overnight and then closed. But we still ended up. It would have been, I mean, like realistic, because I think the entry was like here. It would have been 200 times 6, $1,200. Yeah. That would have been a lot of money, actually. Realistically, I would not have closed up here. I would have closed at this level. So it would have been only, what is that? Times 6, 300 times 3. It would have been 900. So I would have made an extra $600. I closed it like here, so. Right? I guess something like this. 100. Let's see. No, that can't be right then. What was this? Oh no, because I closed one out at the market close, so it would have been only 2 actually. It would have only been 2 contracts. That would be 400. I think there's something wrong with the daily P&L. I'm not sure why it says 300. I think it's supposed to be more. I think something was weird with the rollover. I think it was a $400 trade because I was down like 100 yesterday or something like that. And then this would have been it wouldn't have been so crazy different. You know what I'm saying? I would have made an extra like $200 or something. It's not that big of a deal. Love your ideology. Thanks, bro. You knew that swing level. Yeah, bro. Like trading, when you're trading on a high time frame, it is very easy. Very easy. All you do, mark out a level, buy it, and then watch what happens when it comes into it, right? If it's not doing what you want at that level, you get out. It did what we want at that level, so we held it, right? So let's say we wanted to be a bear right now, for example, right? Well, guess what? We've got like we could short this back down, right? It could be another top here, right? And an important thing to note too is this daily might fail as well. Okay? So that's why it's like a terrible idea to be a bull, right? Like to be in longs right now, right? Two things could happen, right? It's 50-50 right here, right? So you still have quite a few hours left in the day. And look, like the 4 hour is coming back down and maybe failing, right? So the reaction you want is here, right? So we're watching that level, right? Now, mind you, the 15 closed past, so it's not the reaction you want, right? So it's not a good idea to be in shorts yet. But if for some reason, okay, so there could be a buy right here, right? You could be buying in this zone right here. Might even be wise to take a buy there, right? If there's a reaction, right? But I wanna swing trade this personal account, right? There's a decent chance that this could be a pretty big top actually, and it could come down pretty far. But if we see a reaction off these levels, again, right? If we see a solid reaction here, then maybe we want to be a bull. Right? I could enter another long again here, right?
Order filled.
Add back in here, right? But we take more risk on the prop firm account, right? I don't want to be taking this risk on the personal. 28, 228. We'll buy 3 more here, right? We drop the guess there's another top potential, yeah. Let's do a giveaway. Plus peace. Enter the giveaway. September. I think I need to stay in for the mornings now. It's getting too cold, man. Maybe I'll go out again. I think I'll go out again tomorrow for the camping shit. I might actually pack up and do some content outside today. I got some time today, so let's do some filming outside. But I think tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I might go over by the lake tomorrow. They are buying that up, eh? Again, we're just watching it. Okay, spin. Pratik, open up a ticket in Maven Discord. You want a 5K one step. I got tons of time today. I might stream for a little bit longer just to see how this goes. Been dreaming of owning a Maven account. Yeah, but you can collect points by watching the stream on Kick, or you can enter the giveaways. If you're here every day, you'll get a Maven account eventually. I mean, this is probably like the most boring stream that I've had in a very long time. We're just chilling. I'm not full of energy. There's no trades going on. I actually feel kind of nauseous today. I'm doing I'm not eating in the mornings. I'm doing fasting until the afternoons. Funny enough, I'm trying to cut down even though I want to get even leaner. So I'm not eating. And then taking a caffeine pill made me kind of nauseous this morning, so why it's not trade if we're not feeling it. I mean, we already made our money today, right? There's nothing like you make more or less like you try to make money once a day, right? You can take multiple setups, but like once you got your money, there's not much more to do. Like there's only really like one major move. Like you really want to scalp that shit, it makes no sense, right? There's one major move per session, right? Right? You could have maybe taken like 2 here, right? Here, like you wouldn't have taken that, right? It makes no sense. You would have bought here, and like there's one move, right? But you can take multiple trades, right? When you're seeing like failures and shit, like you could just target the other side. You could scalp shit like that, right? But when it's just trending, there's only one move really. But if you're using the closes and the DMC logic, you can really understand this stuff a lot easier. So you could take multiple, right? It's just like there's not a whole lot of point. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. I'm going to show you today, for example, right? You take the one move, right? Or if you really maximize this, you would have taken this extra trade here, okay? So here was the one move, right? Is like, let's say like we were in from previously, right? So the one move is, you know, you got 100 points here roughly, right? The second move would have been like this, right? So you would have gotten like an extra like 40 points maybe, right? You can maybe take another one here, right? So you could, like, in a best case scenario, you're gonna more or less double the amount that you make if you take multiple trades, right? Maybe like 3 trades in a day, right? Or you could just get the one and then be done for the day, right? And it's like the amount of work gets exponentially harder to make less and less. You know what I mean? You can make 80% of the profits in just one trade sort of thing. And then the rest is just kind of like you kind of over trading and putting more risk on the table than you need to. The more trades you take, the more risk you're taking. What do I think happened in FOMC? There's no FOMC. That's meeting minutes. That's not FOMC. FOMC is FOMC Fed. 21 days. Next month. Here, so if you want it, we could do another trade here. Right? You could do this. You could buy here and target the tops, right? So I'll add a super low risk thing here, right? We just failed to lose that level, so maybe we'll come back down and we'll take another trade here, right? If we can get a really good entry after we've gotten confirmation that this is going to go to a new high now, well, that's good, okay? 1 hour closed. Right? Maybe that level, right? Pass-through level there. If it wicks down really fast, it'd be great, right? Wow, happy sitting that top step trade perfectly fine like that. We'll do this. We'll take like just a little scalp there if it does come down deeper, right? We do this actually there. Right? Because I don't want to enter here because that's a shitty entry for this trade, right? Like that's a shitty entry to just target a new top, right? You could, but I'd like to have a zero risk trade here, especially considering it, you know, potentially failing. How do I trade dumb money concepts?
In what scenario y'all consider shorting?
Well, like I said kind of at the start of the stream, probably never right now. It makes no sense to short, right? But yesterday, when I told you that it was going to come back down, right? When you're having these high time frame failures, that's when you want to short, right? But you need to know that short is for a short period of time.
Hunter, the bot is not announcing you're live in Discord.
Yeah, I think it's there's an issue with Kick. I can't fix shit, bro. Technology issues. Nice, $50. Sweet. Good stuff, bro. I believe one day you'll be selected for the giveaways. Yeah, you have to be watching on YouTube or Kick, though. X can't win. It's a good stream, especially when talking about reasons to get rich. It's interesting, man. It's like nobody questions why they do anything, right? They just follow what everyone else tells them is the right thing to do. Like, I have a really weird belief, you know, that like that like, it's like, you know, being let's say this, for example, like being a crackhead on the street, right? You know what I mean? Like, everyone thinks that's bad, right? And kind of it is, right? This is a really extreme example. But let's say, for example, I didn't care about having a family. I don't care about, like, if I authentically do not care about proper connection, if I authentically do not care about having a calm life, you know what I mean? If I authentically don't care about, you know, eating healthy food and being a healthy person, right? Then be a crackhead on the street. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad thing if you honestly don't care about these other values, right? I don't think there's anyone really that believes that, but it's an extreme example, right? So it's interesting is if you look at the opposite side, you know, everyone tells you that being successful is good, right? Why is it good? Ask yourself that. Why is it good to be successful? And you guys can, if you want, you can even answer that question. Type it out. Why is it good to be successful? Let's process it. Why is it good? And by successful, I'm talking about, you know, having money. Okay, having money, and you know the regular sort of slightly glamorous sort of life, right? Nothing extreme. Why is it good to have a good job, and decent amounts of money, you know, and be a good trader? Why is that good? Plus peace. Does nobody know the answer? Does nobody have an answer for that? Oh, maybe my chat isn't working here. It allows you to live on your own terms. For me, it's peace of mind. Okay, great. I got to read it here on the other side. It's coming up on. It's not coming up on that chat. Don't really want money. You just love the grind. Okay, cool. Great. That's a different point. So the two things, live on your own terms and peace. Money is not the only way to get that, first of all, right? You can live on your own terms living out of your car, right? You can live out your own terms being a homeless bum. So what is it about the money that allows you to live on your own terms? Because you can do that with other means. So that's not a good answer. The other person said it allows you to have peace of mind, right? Well, same sort of thing. Lowering your expenses also allows you to have peace of mind. If you don't go out for dinner, you don't buy fancy things, you got peace of mind. You got stability, right? Peace of mind, staying healthy. Sure, staying healthy, great. Another one, you can go to the gym to be healthy. You can eat steak and vegetables. Funny enough, if I ate only steak, I would actually spend a lot less money than I do otherwise, because I eat so little amounts because steak is so nourishing and filling. So if I ate no chips or anything, I would actually spend way less money if I didn't snack ever, you know? Yeah, money's not life, it's a tool. What is a tool for? So all of the things that you guys are saying, money does not bring. All of the answers are interesting. There you go. There's a good answer. Respect. That's a good answer. Money can bring respect because other people admire it, right? Totally. So that's a good answer. It brings envy and respect, right? Money does not buy freedom. And you hear that everywhere. Money doesn't make you happy, but it makes you free. No, it doesn't. It fucking doesn't, man. Money does not make you free. Spending less money makes you free. Spending less money than you earn makes you free. So there's two ways to get that freedom. You can spend less, or you can make more. Guess which one's easier? Guess which one's easier, right? Spending less. Spending less is way easier. You can do it instantly. You can instantly spend less money. So the actual answer, I believe that most people, because they're not being truthful to the reality, they're just regurgitating what everyone else says, right? Money doesn't buy freedom. Everyone says it does. It does not buy freedom. No, that's wrong. It's just objectively wrong. It makes other people think that you're cooler. That's pretty much all it does. It builds authority, right? Comfortable life, okay? Comfortable life. What is a comfortable life? Comfortable life means you can buy food and pay rent, no? Do you need to be rich for that? Do you need a Gucci bag in order to live comfortably? I can tell you right now, every single one of you could be trading with a very small account, not trying to push for these crazy numbers, have a side income job, trade slowly, right? And you're going to live comfortably. You're going to live at peace because you're not going to be panicked gambling every day. Elevate your mindset. What does that mean? I don't know what that means even. Society has never been more socialist, communist. A lot of countries can now just be a beggar and get free stuff. That's true. That's true. Guess what? If you're Canadian and you're a drug addict, you can go and get a free home. Wow. I could get free needles to inject with, free rent, free food, free clothing, and free healthcare if I'm a drug addict. I could just go in, like, mind you, I got to live with fucking cockroaches, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of handouts in somewhere like where I live, right? Okay, I want to buy here, I think. Buy there. Close that. Let's take a little scalp here. Why is it not going through?
Order filled.
There we go. Little scalpy-dee-doo. Okay. See what happens. Can helping your favorite people with money. Are you honestly going to help? Like, I mean, maybe your family, you could help them, sure. I'm just opening your mind, you know what I mean? Like, what are other things you can help your family with? Emotional stability, safety, you know, love, time together. That's all things that make your family life way better. Also. So the narrative of like money fixes everything is insane. It's one of the aspects that make all of our lives better, right? So, you know, we're always on that fucking grind, that Andrew Tate sort of mentality, and it's bullshit. Because it's one piece of the puzzle, right? The other thing is having time with the people that matter to you, right? That also builds respect. Having a healthy lifestyle, you can go to the gym, exercise, hike, whatever. That also builds respect, right? So all of these things that everyone mentioned, right? In the way that I've broken it down is to have a balanced life is the best way to achieve all of those things. Freedom, peace of mind, proper connections with people. Right? Those are the three major things that everyone just mentioned. And if you have a calm time in your day, if you have a hard-working time in the day, and if you have a huge exercise time in the day, and then you have another time where you spend just dedicated to hanging out with people, guess what? You have a really fucking awesome life. And you don't need much money to have that. But fucking keep trading, bros, because I fucking love trading. I love trading. Like, this shit's fun, bro. We just made $20 doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, we're hanging out. You know what I mean? The song's sick. It gives you more, money gives you more options in life. That is true. But which option do you choose? Do you want more options? I'm just asking questions. What option would have made your life better? Right? Is it the fucking mega yacht? Does that make it better? You know what I'm saying? No, because you can still go on the water, get a little paddleboard, still go on the water. If you like water, go on a paddleboard, you know what I mean? It's just like a smaller scale of the same experience. The mega yacht, what does that do? It doesn't give you more options. You can still go on the water. So it doesn't really give you more options. It just gives you a bigger version of the same options. Do you want to travel? You can probably travel. Maybe not as far or for as long, right? But you get bigger options, right? You get bigger versions of the same thing. And that's nice. Sure. I'm not going to deny that, hey, that's not fucking... I don't know. This entire stream is me just bashing having shitloads of money, is it not? I love having money, bro. I also love being fucking ripped. I also love being a person that can like talk to my girl and help her when she's feeling sad. I also love to be a guy that's there for my buddy, you know, when he's going through a hard time. You know, I love to be able to, you know, wake up in the morning and see the sunrise. I love to be able to eat steak and feel good about my health every day. These are all things I love, right? Money's just another one of them. I love a lot of things. This fucking chat log is broken. A bigger yacht gives you more options of what sugar babies come with it. Totally. I can't deny that one, man. You will get hotter girls with money. Yes. But you will also get hotter girls being a fucking jacked up roid monkey, okay? There's a lot of things that's going to get you really hot girls. And guess what? Getting mega rich is not the easiest one. Blasting 3 cc's of trenbuterol, you know, twice a week is probably going to make you way more attractive to those sort of women. Your behavior gives you respect. Totally, bro. But you can buy bigger and better tits, that's for sure, with money. You can buy them for sure. Why is my freaking... The chat log's broken. Fucks up, bro. Not only family, but people in need. So are you really going to donate your money? You think about it. Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. You just made, you know, $100,000 for trading. Are you really going to donate it to somebody who didn't fucking work? You know what I mean? A lot of people say because they want to be this altruistic guy that's like, I help others after I'm successful because they want to feel good about themselves. They're not just being selfish, right? I'm going to help others once I get rich. Fuck that. No, you're not. You're not going to help others, dude. You worked your ass off. You worked your ass off for that money, and you're going to go talk to some bum on the side of the road who didn't work, who doesn't value the amount of work you put in, and just give them a handout? I've been grinding a decade for the amount of skill in trading. And the amount of stable income I can have right now. A decade of doing this shit. And you think I'm just going to give that away to somebody? No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help them go down the same path so that they can figure it out on their own. You're not going to give them a handout because you realize that that's not going to help them. But if you actually want to help them, you guide them in the right direction so they can do it themselves. And then boom, that helps them. Fucking donating money is the worst thing you can do to help somebody. It makes them realize that they can be a bum and it's okay. Sugar mommy. Crazy, bro. Right, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I think that's enough raging. We've got a couple clips from that, I'm sure. The name of the social media game is just clipping shit now, bro. Just clipping shit. Should this just be a scalp or what? I think probably. We'll see how things close. We got that sick entry though, actually, hey? They use that level again. We'll see how things close, and I might just let it run. I'm not sure how I'll do. But anyways, we made $300 at least today, so. We're not done about this topic. Of course we are, bro. I think I've raged for the past hour. Would you give money to somebody that you felt it would help? What situation would somebody be in that I could actually help them with money? Here's a couple situations that pop in my mind. They can't pay rent. Well, that's not going to help them at all. That's going to teach them that, hey, somebody will bail you out, okay? And it won't actually teach them any skills in order how to figure things out for themselves. So that's actually a bad idea. Hey, I can't pay for food. Well, you can eat fucking rice, bro. You can forage in the woods. You can figure it out still. There is no situation that you can't figure out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's any situation where if I donate money, it will really help them. Other than maybe a situation where somebody is dying and they need like a surgery. Right? The only situation is if somebody is literally going to die. That's all. See you guys tomorrow.